Hello. Today we're going to be learning how to work Ancestry.com. So, sorry, I'm just moving stuff around. I already have an account, and I have my tree open right now. So we're going to see how to work it. Pretty self-explanatory, but the arrows above your parents are going to open up the generation or 2 generations above them. And the arrows to the right or left of them are going to open up their siblings, and the arrows below your siblings are going to open up your siblings' children. And the arrows below you will open up your children. So, hints. Let's go over the hints. What is a hint? First of all, that's a very important question because a hint is a record, right? So it's going to give you a record, but don't take that too seriously, right? That doesn't mean that the record that it gives you is the right record, okay? Take it with a grain of salt, right? So, because there could very well be someone with a very similar name and similar birth dates, but living in a different part of the country that it says could be your ancestor, but it's not. So, you're going to want to fact check them, look at the hints, don't just click and say yes, right? You could do that, but it's probably going to mess things up on your tree. So let's look at some examples. So when I click on my great-great-grandma's hints, it pulls up the 1940 federal census, 1930 federal census, 1920 federal census, birth certificates index, social security applications and claims index, and U.S. marriages, right? Now I've already accepted 4 hints for this person, right? 1 second, I've got about that. So let's go over these, right? So let's see, what's with this 1940 federal census? So when you look at the 1940 federal census, you can click on it, it's going to show you, there's going to be a small box with the actual document of the census, then there's going to be a larger rectangle that's going to have typed out all the information that's on the census, right? So whatever it says on the census, but if you want to see the actual document yourself, you can click on the census and read it yourself. But what the rectangle is going to tell you is name, respondent, age, estimated birth year, gender, race, birthplace, marital status, relation to head of house, home in 1940, map of home in 1940, street, house number, inferred residence in 1935, residence in 1935, resident on a farm in 1935, citizenship, street number, attended school or college, highest grade completed, weeks worked in the year, which for this one's 1939, income, other income sources, it gives you the neighbors, and it gives you the household members, their age, and their relationship. Now that's pretty useful, but that's typed out by someone who had to go in and read that. Now, if that doesn't sound right to you, like if you've heard a family story and that doesn't sound right, you can click on the census and it's going to highlight the whole line for you of the person you're looking for. You can read it yourself and determine that way. Maybe they misread it and mistyped it, right? Like for example, this census for my hint is a correct census, but they mistyped the name. And that's going to be the same for the 1930 and 1920 census. Let's look at the U.S. birth certificates index. So this one for my great-grandma. What information will this give me? What will this give me to put on my tree? So this is going to give me her name, her birth, and her spouse, right? So what if this is correct? What if this is correct, right? And when I click on it, that's what it gives me in the hints, but when I click on the hint, it's going to give me name, birth date, birthplace, gender, age, spouse, child, and FHL film number, right? There's no picture to click on to see the actual document yourself, right? So if I think this is correct information and I want to add it to my tree, I click yes in the bottom, on the bottom of the screen. If I think it's false information, I click no. And if I think maybe not, then I click maybe. Or I just X out of it and just leave it there. Just leave it there. Make a mental note that it's not correct, and I just leave it there. That's what I do a lot. And marriages, right? That's going to give me name, gender, spouse, child, and FHL phone number. That one can be useful if you don't already know some of the stuff. And here's a good one. Public member family trees. Okay. These can be good, but they can also, you gotta be cautious because they're made by another person, right? For example, for my great grandma, I have 2 of these saved, right? 2 of these trees saved to my tree, right? All the information, right? But that's because I know who made the trees, and I know that I can trust that they're correct, factually correct, because I had all that information before. And I know these are family members. These are not that distant cousins of mine that made these trees. So I just, I save marriage records that do give me the document. Sometimes it does give you the document, sometimes it doesn't, right? So yeah. Okay. Well, what if I want to add someone? So, well, actually, first, before I get into that, I should tell you this. You can click on someone's little tiny box and it enlarges it to a much larger rectangle. So what this is going to tell me is their extended name, if their name is pretty long. It's going to give me their birth date and birthplace, right? And not just the year like it does in the small box, like the full date and death date and death place. That's where you're going to access your hints, their profile. You can hit the search button, which searches for them in the Ancestry.com records. But there's also 3 little dots. Now let's talk about these 3 little dots. If you click on these 3 little dots, there is a number of small boxes that pop up. They say quick edit, view family tree, add relative, add tag, view comments, ask someone for info or a photo, prioritize this person, or delete this person, okay? Let's talk about what this does, right? So if we click quick edit, it brings up a side of the screen where it's going to let you type on their first and middle name. It's going to let you type on their last name and type on the suffix of the name. For example, junior, senior. For suffix on this one, I put her Hebrew name. It's going to let you choose their gender and their status, living or deceased, right? It's going to let you type their birth date, birthplace, death date, and death place, right? And if you're typing the birth date, it's going to pop up a little box, right? You can click on that. If you're typing the birthplace, you've only got the city, right? In the state, then there's a box that might pop up that also could have the county too, and you might want to click that to be more precise, right? Same thing with death date and death place. And you can do any other language script you can on a computer or a device. You're going to hit save to save all the information you've updated, and that's all. Now let's go back to those little dots. What about view her family tree? What does that do? Well, if we click on that, it's going to change the screen, and instead of having it centered on me, it's going to be centered on her, right? So instead of saying second great grandma, it's going to say that's a person. You want to show her children, right? And she's going to be in the center. And I'm going to be way down at the bottom, and I have to be open. She doesn't have to be open because she's in the center. You can see her ancestry, right? Now, what about if I wanted to see someone's spouse's family tree, right? Like my great great my great great aunt, right? Her husband, I have done a lot of his family tree. So how do I want to see his tree and like do his tree and stuff, right? There next to him there's gonna be a little blue and pink circle, right? With people in it. That's gonna let you to access his tree. If you click on that, then it's gonna take you to his tree, right? Okay. Back to those little dots. What if you click add tag? What does that do? I actually don't use that a whole lot. But that just like gives you tags, like DNA tags, like common DNA ancestor, DNA connection, DNA match, life experience tags, like enslaved person, free person of color, immigrant, indentured servant, military service, royalty or nobility, slave owner. There's relationship tags, like adopted into this family, adopted out of this family, died young, direct ancestor, multiple spouses, never married, no children, orphan. There's research status tags like actively researching, brick wall, complete, hypothesis, prioritized person, to do, unverified, and verified. Very useful. I'm actually going to use that now. Yeah, we all learn stuff every day. View comments. What is in the three dots? There's a one that says view comments. It's going to open something up. It's going to have comments on the person. So if someone from another tree was like, hey, where was this person born? They might put that in the comments, and you can view that comment on that, and you can reply, oh, this person was born in the Russian Empire. So back to those three dots. Below view comments, it says ask someone for info or a photo, right? If you click on that, it's going to say you can copy a link, send an email, send a text, or message an ancestry member. That's self-explanatory. If you need help and you know someone who can help, you can message. Back to those three dots. Prioritize this person, right? You can only prioritize up to 10 people, but it puts a little star next to their name and stuff. And delete this person. That's self-explanatory. That's if you want to delete the person, but that's also going to delete their parents, their siblings, all that stuff. What about making a tree though, right? How do you make a tree? So you're going to go to My Trees, right? We're going to create a new tree. Once you create a new tree, you're going to add home person. Let's just name the person Larry Swampflop. Right? Larry Swampflop. We're going to click male, living, birthday. Let's just say like 1800, right? And let's say he was born in like Kazakhstan or somewhere. Or what about he'll be born in Kaza, federally administrated tribal areas in Pakistan, right? Continue. Then you're gonna add his father and his mother. Then it's gonna say, do you want to make the Swampflop family tree? You're gonna hit yes. Then you can go keep adding people until you can't anymore, right? Oh, adding a photo for someone. So if you want to add a photo specifically for a person, you click on their box, then click on the little blue or pink silhouette looking thing, then hit upload photo and choose it, right? We'll upload media, because you can also do like recordings and stuff. Or you can go to memories. You can go to either upload and digitize or gallery. I usually just go to gallery. And I say upload media, then I upload it, and I put in the name for it, the date for it, and all that stuff. What else is there? You can do a search for all collections, census and voter lists, birth, death, marriage, military, immigration and travel, public member trees, card catalog member search. You can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's run a search really quickly. So if I wanted to search for someone in my tree, let's say I want to search for someone, right? So I'm putting in one of my ancestors right now, and I'm gonna fill it in. It fills it in. I clicked on the little link and it filled me in. But it's gonna put birth, marriage, death, all that stuff, all the information that I already have on the tree. It's gonna put into the search. Then I'm gonna hit search. It's gonna load for like a second. It's still loading actually, and then it's gonna come up, and on the top it's gonna have public member trees. You can hit browse more like this, or you can keep going to the records. It's going to be stuff like census records, findagrave.com records, right? But on the side there's going to be filters, which you can filter which kind of record, record location, record date, and image subject. So that's the records side of things. Let's do a profile. Let's look at the profiles for people, right? So I'm going to use an example. Let me just pull one up real quick. I'll just use me as an example. Okay. So when I click on profile, it's going to give me my timeline, which I can edit, and I'm going to show you how to edit the timeline now, because that's like the important part. So you can hit add fact, right? And you can either make your own custom event, or you can do address, adoption, adult christening, also known as annulment, arrival, baptism, LDS, bar mitzvah, blessing, burial, caste, cause of death, census, christening, circumcision, confirmation, LDS, cremation, degree, departure, description, destination, divorce filed, DNA markers, education, elected, email, immigration, employment, endowment, engagement, excommunication, first communion, funeral, gender, graduation, height, immigration, initiatory, marriage ban, marriage contract, marriage license, marriage settlement, medical, military mission, namesake, nationality, occupation, ordination, phone, religion, residence, retirement, will, weight. You can even put their weight in there. So you can put a lot of stuff in there. You can also click on life story, which is going to give you a map, and basically the same thing as the profile, but with a map. So give you a little summary. You can hit gallery, which is just going to give you all the pictures that you have of that person. You can hit hints, which is just the hints of that person. You can hit explore, which is like, it takes just random media and stuff from the years in which they were alive, basically. So I don't use that much. I know what happened when people were alive. I think that's all I have to do right now. So if I think of anything more, I'm going to tell you and make a new video. So this has been how to use Ancestry.com.